same time, I wonder if much of it matters at all to a majority of players, which I think
that for a lot of people, this beta has been a positive. Most people have seen this beta and become more excited about the game than before.
Yes, definitely.
The answer is no.
Which, by the way, is like super fucking rare. That a game comes out in beta and people actually are excited about it.
Which can I get up?
Considered to be the most important core elements of the game, D4 does seem to get right. It looks great, it feels great, and I have a fun time while I'm playing. Like, I really enjoyed the preview last fall. Last weekend's beta was a blast, and I can't wait to jump back in and wait in the queue with everyone else in the world this upcoming weekend. Blizzard doesn't appear to be breaking any molds here or treading much new ground, although the inclusion of an open shared world.
I'm not sure whether they're breaking any molds or anything until we really see the end game. Because, like, Act 1 of an ARPG, how transformative do you even want it to be? I feel like it's fine. Yeah, you don't always have to make you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just make a really, really good wheel. And it seems like Diablo 4 is a good wheel. I do want to see more innovation. Absolutely. I'm not saying innovation doesn't matter. It does. However, we're going to have to wait till in-game to really be able to see that.
For me, it feels
in an ARPG is something I really enjoy as an MMO fan, but it also doesn't feel revolutionary. And the more important thing is the long-term progression, the hook that's going to keep you coming back time and time again. And that we just kind of have to wait and see until we can get past Act 1 and level 25. In general, it looks like Blizzard is just kind of taking some of what works best in the genre, giving it a Diablo twist, fine-tuning parts, adding a bit of gameplay polish, and creating a product aimed at the mass market. Or in other words, they're doing exactly what they've done with most of their games for the past 20.
Yeah, because the truth is, he's right. That's exactly what they did with World of Warcraft. And there were a couple of points of innovation with WoW, absolutely, that set it aside from, like, EverQuest. Like, for example, WoW didn't have loading screens, and there wasn't a big punishment on death in WoW compared to older MMOs, like, just two examples. But overall, yeah, it wasn't a completely new experience. Overwatch, Overwatch 2. A lot of what we saw in Overwatch 2, like, yes,
I still don't know why people do this.
But a lot of it was in Team Fortress 2 as well.
I'm here. It's fine,
buddy. In the fall
buddy.
of 2004, when World of Warcraft was about to launch, I remember being unimaginably hyped, just like out of my mind excited. The idea that Blizzard, a company whose games I grew up loving, was making an MMO in the world of Warcraft with its setting, its history, lore, and characters all fully realized, letting us seamlessly explore Azeroth, the lands of the orcs, humans, night elves, and undead. Like, to me, all of this just sounded too good to be true. I was a freshman in college at the time the pre-release beta took place, and I didn't get in, but one of my dorm mates did, and I remember just sitting there all day watching him play. He was an undead mage, leveling through Tristfall, just spamming frostbolts at skeletons, zombies, plague hounds, and dustbats, seeing the other players running around, being in
I actually miss
universe. Like, it was just so
class.
cool. I was so excited. My dorm mates were excited. All my friends.
Yeah, everybody
that
was
would be
fucking
great.
hyped, man. Like, I remember whenever I got the
game, and I'm afraid
like,
of
I
all
didn't get
that.
it until, like, later on, but, like,
he can run me down,
everybody
essentially.
would have, like, their own character on like, my account, and then we would take time, like, playing, like, Zach and I.
Oh, he missed.
Like, he would play for an hour, then I would watch him play for an hour.
Okay, he's bad.
And he'd watch him
he's really bad.
Like, we did this over and over and over, and, like, Cody and
eat the minion damage. Oh wait, he has sleepy tempo, right?
Cody would play for a while, and Jeff would play.
Don't eat the minion damage.
I did the same
I'm sorry.
with my mom, too. It's like,
apologize.
On my account, and then I was like, playing on my fucking
account.
I gotta do something important, okay? I gotta run Scarlet Monastery. She said, fuck that. I'm buying my own.
Let me farm.
And then she got into the game.
From back home are excited. We could not wait to play this brand new Blizzard game. So I went online looking forward to learning more and talking about WoW, and everyone hated it. Like, everyone hated WoW. At least that's how it seemed online. The world of
a lot of people were really critical about WoW. The two reasons why people were super critical about the game.
Am I lagging this hard?
One, they felt like it was a watered down version.
I think
of
that's
an
bad.
MMO. Like the
attack animation comes after the gold.
Casuals and losers. Or like babies, casuals, and kids with ADHD. And the other reason was because it cost $15 a month. That was the reason, like, because Blizzard was like this really big company, and so like EverQuest didn't have that same splash that World of Warcraft did, because like the people that made EverQuest weren't as big or as popular as Blizzard, right? It's just how it is. So whenever WoW came out,
wait, he didn't get tower aggro?
like
Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me?
Like here, let me just go ahead.
He didn't get tower aggro?
Do a little bit of math here. Inflation.
He was so hard in tower range as he attacked me. Come on.
Per year.
That's some
Let's see,
bullshit.
I'm not sure if
I call bullshit in that
if
one.
this is gonna work or not. Okay, I can't click a number on this. Okay, here we go. Number is going to be $15. And this is going to be in January of 2004. Actually, let's just it was in November.
Oh, come on, don't do it.
This is the same buying power of February. $23. And that's just what this website says. So obviously it'll be different. So $23. So imagine if you had to
Everyone
spend
is greedy here, huh?
$20 a month nowadays. People would absolutely bring that up. Yeah, and also there was a box cost, and then
We are really greedy here.
On top of that, whenever the expansion came out in 2000.
Someone dive me. Someone dive me, please.
So yeah, it was around 12 to 13.
Yeah, my ping
back
is
then, not
my ping is
15.
ass.
No, it was $15. It might have been different maybe in your country, but in the U.S. it was it's always been $15.
Warcraft, they said, was just a piss-poor excuse of an MMO, a game for babies. The world and character design looked like a Sunday morning cartoon. The game was incredibly casual. Character death doesn't result in losing experience or gear.
Exactly.
Excuse me? What is this? Dungeons were instanced, meaning that rival players and guilds couldn't fight you and contest boss kills. It seemed like existing fans of the MMO genre at the time were largely unimpressed. To them, WoW was an easy, dumbed down, casual version of games that already existed. That was the general consensus of what I was reading online, on the message boards, and even the official WoW forums, everywhere I looked. Now, I read this stuff, I thought parts of it all sounded reasonable, but also, I just didn't care. Like, I thought the game looked awesome, as did all my friends, and when it launched, we played it, and pretty much didn't stop playing for about 5 years straight. As we all know by now, World of Warcraft is the game in the MMO genre that came out on top. In terms of its popularity and influence, it far exceeded every one of the MMOs that came before it. The MMOs which fans of the genre prior to WoW's launch were all saying online were just much, much, much better games.
It's incredible to go back and look at how fucking garbage these games were. This is such fucking trash. Why would anybody want to play this? It's pathetic. Compared to WoW. Obviously, it was good for its time, 1998, but that was a long time ago. It's trash.
Games. I am not saying that Diablo 4 is going to be to the ARPG genre what WoW was to MMOs. I don't think that at all. While I do feel like they have nailed combat and their implementation of this open world and social elements are really cool, something I personally enjoy. From the early testing I've done, it also doesn't seem like Blizzard is bringing much innovation or new ideas to the table, but it is still too early to fully judge the game, of course, as we have yet to play.
I would not be surprised if Diablo 4 outsells Diablo 3. I think there's a good chance that could happen.
Endgame, which is going to be one of the major things that determine long-term replayability. And maybe there are systems and features and things that they just haven't even discussed in previews or that weren't even in the
that would have killed him.
that they ran. I don't.
Maybe I should
take
Flash instead of Ghost. Maybe that's
there is some
better.
big reveal still yet to come for Diablo 4 that we will not see until the game officially releases.
They said that after the beta, they're going to talk about the end game.
Oh, he heals a lot.
That's going to happen.
Point in comparing it to World of Warcraft and the discussion around the game prior to release is that there is a pretty clear distinction in my eyes to the hardcore fans of an existing genre and then maybe what Blizzard is looking to appeal to and make a game for in that wider audience. Yes,
it's smart for them to do this.
Minions.
This is a smart thing for them to do.
Pull in fans of ARPGs.
I think that, ironically, World of Warcraft designing content for the 1%, like I feel like they have been for the last 5 years, with like how overly complex dungeons and raids have gotten. I think that's why a lot of people have moved over to play Final Fantasy. It's because WoW has turned into being that enthusiast game that
No!
doesn't appeal to the average casual
I
player.
missed my E.
For Diablo 4, just like they wanted to pull in
Oh,
fans
damn.
of
That was
MMOs
close.
for WoW, but they're also looking to then streamline and simplify it in a way that they can
Way
push out
closer
to
than it
many,
should have
many,
been.
many more players. And I do feel like, once again, they have polished an existing structure and concept fairly well, and for a majority of people who may end up playing D4, they're likely to enjoy the game and have a pretty good time. Now, I want to be clear here that none of this is like a dismissal or hand-waving of the critiques. On the contrary, I agree with pretty much every major complaint about Diablo 4 that these creators and other hardcore ARP.
The only ones that I don't agree with is that the game is too simplistic. That's the only
Yeah, it felt
the
really
only
simple.
criticism I
Diablo, I
actually
mean.
do not agree with.
Fans have been voicing. I do think the dungeon
I think-
structure gets quite
I think the
repetitive.
combat
I do
is
feel
not
like
engaging at
itemization
all.
should be improved so that drops feel more
And
exciting, and hope
This again is something that's an
The
outcome
abilities
of
you have
Act 1,
Don't really...
as Blizzard has clearly defined and explained.
It looks like there's one
hopefully
best
this
build
happens
path.
with the later higher rarity items that we
And
haven't even seen yet. And
you
then
either
how they're
build right
doing
or
the level
wrong, and
scaling
it's just-
currently feels off. Like, yes,
It doesn't
do
feel like you
seem
can
to
be
get
whatever you
weaker
want.
as you level up
Whoa!
until you
I didn't
start to
see
get better
this.
gear
I'm
drop.
so
And I'll
sorry.
also say that it's true that Diablo 4, from the boss mechanics to the skill tree, the progression system that we've seen at
Let
least,
me out
the
of text.
content variety, it all seems streamlined, dumbed down versions of existing ARPGs built for the mass market, because that's exactly what it is. As what WoW was to EverQuest, what StarCraft was to Command & Conquer, what Overwatch was to TF2, what Hearthstone was to
he
Magic
doesn't
the Gathering, what
flash.
Heroes of the Storm was to Dota, and what their upcoming unnamed survival game is going to.
I really am curious to know what this survival game is going to be like. I
Idiots.
don't know anything about it. Nobody's told me anything, you know, on the down low. I'm not sure, but I'm really excited to see what it's going to be.
Probably be to the survival genre. That is what Diablo 4 is to Grim Dawn and Last Epoch and Diablo 2 and Path of Exile. They're looking to take the things that work, add polish, refine gameplay, and make it more palatable for the masses. That's been Blizzard's MO for a long time, and I suspect it'll continue to be their MO going forward. And
And that's smart. That's what they should do. Because they can't realistically, they cannot compete with Path of Exile. Path of Exile is too dynamic and too decisive with making changes and adding content. Blizzard cannot keep up with that. They're too big of a studio, and it's just not the way they run things.
almost surprising that people seem surprised that this is the case. Now, there is room for there to strike a balance from what they have now for the streamlined, palatable version of an ARPG to the complexity and depth of a Path of Exile. And I do think there is a fine line they're trying to balance, and they can push more into.
And I also think that PoE 2 will probably simplify Path of Exile as well. I think so. But there are probably a lot of people, like I remember I was talking to Silvervale about this, and she was like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to start PoE. I don't know if I want to play PoE. I just hear it's really complicated, and it's a 30-minute video of a spreadsheet. And you know what? She's right. It's true. So there's a lot of people that are like her, that are like, you know, more casual ARPG players. They're not going hard, not playing fucking 2,000 hours doing this.
That was a waste of ghost.
And they never get into it. But she had multiple characters level 25 in Diablo 4. So there you go.
That complex direction, I really do. But no, they aren't looking to like compete with Path of Exile.
They absolutely will compete with Path of Exile, whether they want to or not. People will make the decision, am I going to play Diablo 4 or Path of Exile? Absolutely. I don't think that they can't coexist. While they are competing with each other, and while Diablo 4 is going for a different audience than PoE, like it's a Venn diagram, okay? And there's a lot of people in the middle.
I'll be right. And games like it,
oh, fuck.
They're looking to supersede it. Like, I quite like PoE. I played a ton of the game when it first entered beta testing back in 2011. There's actually a Let's Play of the game still on the channel right now. Don't watch it. It's garbage content, but it is there. Like, I played this game from its inception when it was first playable. I thought it was really cool back then, and it's been amazing to see it grow and evolve over the years. PoE has really established itself as a solid ARPG for fans of that genre.
I made a review of Path of Exile in 2012 or 2013, whenever the beta happened, or the closed beta weekend happened, and Kripparrian interviewed Chris Wilson on stream, and I recorded it.
I'm getting way too lucky this game.
2012, 2013 Asmongold review Path of Exile. And I even talk about in the video, I'll upload it one day, and I even talk about the video like, yeah, Kripparrian, I came home from my dad's house. Of course I came home. I watched Kripparrian. He was playing this new game. It was really cool. I thought it was Diablo 2. And yeah, I went through the whole thing. Watch it now. It's on like my other computer, I'm pretty sure.
People really like it, and it's been seeing continuous growth. At the same time, though, it's small, like very small in comparison to what Blizzard expects for
more. It's inaccessible.
Like Rengar Nocturne are just such no-brainer champs.
Inaccessible, and I think that
I mean, like Shyvana as well,
inaccessible
but
in a bad way.
Nocturne and Rengar ults are just a safe kill.
It's good in some ways and bad in other ways. Like, for example, it's great that a person that has 2,000 hours in PoE will be able to know a lot more than a person who only has 1,000 hours. That's super cool. However, it's not super cool the fact that you get locked into a spec as a new player, and then your spec sucks, you can't respec because you don't have Orbs of Regret, they're too expensive to buy, your fucking character's bricked, you don't have enough respecs from the campaign, you're getting killed, now you're just fucked. So it's simultaneously accessible, and the complexity is simultaneously rewarding and also inaccessible in different regards.
Numbers for its game. The all-time peak
I don't have enough
count
IP
for Path of Exile is just shy of
I'm so stupid.
160,000 players. If Diablo 4 had 160,000 players, everyone would be calling it a dead game.
And in still?
Lost Ark had 300,000 players, and everybody was calling it a dead game. Well, Lost Ark had 30,000 players and 270,000 bots.
I don't want to Udyr appears again.
Be like, wow, what a failure, Blizzard.
Yeah.
Massive L. And it's not,
Blizzard
though, because
sucks, yeah.
PoE isn't a failure. 160,000 concurrent isn't a failure. It's nothing to scoff at. It's an impressive number.
And that's also like a league start. That's a league start, and then people fall off like crazy afterwards.
For most games.
And also keep in mind that most people, like, I don't play PoE through Steam. I play it through the PoE launcher. I always have.
But that's what I'm talking about. That is the sort of difference in expectations and audience size that we have between this more niche hardcore ARPG and what a lot of the criticisms are comparing it to, and what Blizzard aims for that mass appeal. And my point here isn't that bigger game equals better game. I don't think that at all. But I do think it speaks to the general appeal amongst a wider demographic that these games have, that this genre has, or doesn't have, or hasn't had. For everything that I think is cool, and that
there's no accessible ARPG for the wide market, the wide general audience. Last Epoch is too new, it's not established yet. Diablo 3 is too old and it fucking sucks. And Path of Exile is too complicated and hard to get into.
RPG fans love about PoE, many average gamers don't care, aren't interested in, or just actively dislike. But again, I do think a better balance can be struck from where we are right now. There are definitely lessons to be learned from these other ARPGs, and I hope Blizzard does offer more complexity and more variety in the end game from what we've seen up to this point. We've still yet to play around with the Paragon board or see those 2 highest tiers of loot drops, and hopefully these do make a big difference. I mean, they should be playing a major role in build customization.
They're gonna be build defining in the same way that, like, fucking, I'm trying to think, like, what was the Demon Hunter setup? We don't really use it. Like the Bulkathos or the Talracha set. Those are the ones I remember really well. They were completely build defining in Diablo 3.
variety. And I just love all of the in-the-weeds dissection and discussion that we've been seeing over the course of the past week, now that a lot of different experienced veteran players of this genre have gotten their hands on it. This is the stuff that's super interesting and important to players like me, but I also remember my 18-year-old self not caring at all what the hardcore MMO players had to say about WoW prior to it coming out. And I do think there's a degree of that happening here as well, and just with games
well, the casual audience is never going to see that because they're not going to the 4chan thread about Diablo. They're not going to the PoE general thread on /VG. They don't even know that exists. They have no idea. They're just like, wow, this looks cool, and so you can fight Diablo. Oh, that girl is hot. Oh, wow. Yeah, we'll try this one. I remember I played Diablo 2 back in the day, like 20 years ago. That was fun. Yeah, let's buy the new one. Honey, can we get this? And that's it. They're not going to ask for the approval of a message board.
In general, there is so much like minutia we tend to really focus on that seems ultra important, but maybe in the grand scheme of things really isn't important, and that really accounts for a lot of what I talk about on this channel as well. Like a lot of the stuff that I fret over, that I get hyper fixated on, that I'm like, this is such a huge deal, to 95% of the player base of these games that I talk about, they're just like,
yeah, they have no idea. Somebody else said something really good in chat. Yes, most of the people that are going to play Diablo 4 found out about the game on TV. They're watching The Big Bang Theory. They're watching True Detectives. And fucking a commercial comes on. And it's like, Diablo 4. Oh, man. I gotta get this.
And that they don't get it, or that they couldn't get it, but it doesn't matter. They sit down, they have fun. And I think we also have to remember that there are these different portions of the audience and different types of players, because there's a huge difference between a person who considers themselves like a big ARPG fan, who plays Path of Exile, who plays Last Epoch, who plays all of these different games, who still plays Diablo 2 to this day in and day out, week after week. There's a huge difference between their expectations and their needs, and the needs and expectations of most people of a
I think it's always a mistake to try to keep people like that happy, because they're never going to be happy.
Well, the potential purchasers and the people who are potentially going to be playing D4, with their needs, their desires, what they look for in the game, what they want out of a game, massive difference. That said, I do think the opinion of these seasoned and hardcore players is incredibly valuable, especially for the long-term health of the game, because these
you
are
should absolutely look at what hardcore players are saying about the game whenever it first comes out. Because what their problems are in like week 1 are going to be casual player problems in month 2. This is what happened with New World. Is I went and I played the fuck out of New World. I hit level 60 in New World twice on 2 separate betas, okay? And I told everybody, I said, this game sucks at endgame. There's nothing to do. It's trash. And everyone was like, you fucking loser. I'm
Damn.
I've been fishing, listening
He
to
melted me.
the Revival for the last 2 hours. This game's beautiful. I'm having fun. You need to get a life. And then
Aurelian is kind of busted.
a month later, they finally roll around.
Yes. 3 kills and he melted me. That fast.
I am. So keep
Is this
in
an
mind
AP virus?
that is going to happen with Diablo 4.
It
So I
is.
think people should absolutely take the criticism whenever the game comes out of hardcore players extremely seriously, because the problems they're seeing now, you'll see later.
Ones with thousands of hours sunk into their particular game or genre of choice, and they know the ins and outs and the mechanisms and mechanics that keep them coming back after all this time. And if they're not seeing it in D4, they're gonna call it out, and justifiably so, because without these things, D4 might just be a game that they play for a little while and then go back to their core game. And maybe that's okay, but ultimately a lot of these people, I get the sense, and me, when I critique games, I'm looking to improve it to fit my needs of long term and my desire desire to continue playing a game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say like, oh, I'm not playing it as much because of this or that. Yeah, of course. I think that's what everybody does.
Keep coming back to a game, even if that isn't what everyone is looking for. And the best thing I think Blizzard can do, or any games company can do, is try to find that balance between those different audiences with their different needs and what they look for. And if you do consider yourself one of those more hardcore players or someone who's more interested in that kind of discussion, absolutely watch all of this content. Watch all of those different creators that I talked about. It's really, really good stuff. I do plan to do a video diving into my overall thoughts and critiques, but I'm probably going to wait until after this upcoming weekend's beta. With all that said, you know, bottom line for me is, yeah, Diablo 4 is a ton of fun to play, and I suspect
nice.
we'll be spending a lot of time.
Oh damn!
A lot of these criticisms are very valid, but they still won't matter likely to 95% of the player base who doesn't.
It feels so good to have a useful genre.
Or thousands of hours.
It feels
will
so
matter
good
to
for
those
once.
people though who are planning to sink 1,000 hours, and I do.
Yeah, if you are a 5,000 plus hour Andy into Path of Exile, you might find some enjoyment on Diablo 4 season releases, but I don't think you'll get the same fulfillment out of it that you do from Path of Exile.
Hope that these critiques are taken seriously for that portion of the player base, because these are the ones that will stick around long term, funding the live service model that Blizzard's going all in on. And I do think there's a good chance that I will be one of those players, especially if the end game proves to provide enough like variety and content. I've enjoyed the base of what I've played so far and have every intention to keep playing going forward if they can provide those hooks and provide that replayability. I do want to talk about and cover Diablo 4 a lot more than I even have at this point, but I don't want to flood this channel with like daily updates, news, or guides even for one game.
It to be like
I've just been enjoying the variety of style and content and games that we cover, and I want to keep going down that path. So that said, we're starting a second channel. That's the plan right now. This will be entirely focused on Diablo 4. We'll probably be producing guides, news, and updates. It's just going to be full-on Diablo 4 coverage. And the goal of which, sort of like what I do with this channel, is to try to make stuff that is hopefully useful and helpful and interesting for everyone to watch, but just about one game instead of the variety that we do here. And I say we because my pal Liam is going to be making videos with me as well. We've known each other for a while. He's actually been editing on this channel for about a year or so now, maybe a little longer. And we've been working together on different projects, and we're planning to do this Diablo channel collaboratively. And also, if you were a fan of Overwatch back in the day, you will probably recognize his voice as well when you check it out. Should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to the game and spending a lot more time with it. There's a link below if you're interested in checking out Diablo 4 specific content from me and Liam. Before we wrap things up here, just a quick shout out and thank you to today's sponsor. Once again, this video was sponsored by Ridge Wallet, the products that are designed to help streamline what you carry. They're made of these durable materials, have a nice weighty
You know, I've had the same wallet ever since I was in 8th grade. It's a Nintendo wallet, and it has
I'm so dead.
NES controller on the front of it. I bought it at GameStop in 8th grade. I still use it.
and a simple compact design, all of which let you carry just the things you need while taking up less space than what traditional wallets do. I've had my Ridge wallet for well over a year, and I just really enjoy using it. Other features include the ability to hold up to 12 cards while also having room for cash. These are offered in over 30 different colors and styles. You've got a lot of different things to choose from, and it's got a lifetime warranty on top of a 99-day risk-free trial. Beyond the wallets, they've also got a range of other products, including key cases, watches, and pens. Currently, there's a special 10-year anniversary sale taking place. If you use the link below or head over to ridge.com/force, from now until March 26, you can save up to 40% off on a purchase. So that pretty much does it for this video. I just wanted to dive into this topic because I just found it interesting, kind of the comparisons to pre-WoW and the hardcore MMO community, and how pre-D4 this hardcore ARPG community has had these particularly nuanced opinions. They're all really valid.
Oh yeah, people's opinions of the game are going to be very different than the average player's opinion. That's the difference.
I agree with the majority of them. I'll probably be diving into a lot of it with my other videos, but I guess I found it funny, my perspective and how it shifted over the years, and how back in that day, I really didn't care what all of the hardcore MMO nerds had to say. And nowadays, if I were listening to myself, I wouldn't care what this hardcore nerd had to say either about D4.
Brom's just standing there.
Yeah, I would just play the game. If people don't like it, I would. Who gives a shit? I just try it out, and if it's bad, I'll figure that out myself.
It's just interesting. It really is. It really is interesting. But this stuff is super important. It's great content, and yeah, check out Crip, check out Ziggy D, check out Mr. Lam SC, check out Asmongold. He doesn't need any more promotion, does he? You're doing good work, by the way, dude. Keep it up. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and if you play Diablo 4 this weekend, I hope you have a good time. I will be. Maybe I'll see you out there on doing a world boss or completing a public event or clearing a stronghold or something. See ya on the fields of, what is it called? It's the fields of. It's not Azeroth. That's the other game. Yeah, see ya in Sanctuary.
Yeah, it was probably a cut. There you go. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I wanted to watch this video and catch up on it. It came out a couple of days ago. I didn't really get into it. But yeah, I think this is a pretty fair video of pretty much a lot of people's critiques of the game and thoughts on it, everything, etc. So yeah, there you go, guys. D4 creator, by the way. Hey, I bet there's a lot of people that you ask them where the fuck is it Diablo, like, is it in hell? Like, I don't know, Earth? I bet a lot of people have no fucking idea, okay? Like, I sat through and I watched, like, a bunch of different cinematics, so I know a lot about it. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of things that, like, super serious players of a game genre sometimes feel like they are the center of the universe because they are, everything that they consume revolves around them. But the truth is that with games like Diablo and Overwatch and World of Warcraft, there is like this massive, I hate using the word, but the term, but it's true, silent majority of these casual fucking gamer dads. They found out about Diablo 4 on a commercial in between watching the game on Sunday. They're wondering why there hasn't been a BlizzCon recently. Why did this one NPC get taken out of my WoW game? Are they gonna re-release classic WoW? Yeah, they have no fuck. Yeah, they went to KFC and they saw a picture of Lilith and they were like, well, that looks cool. Maybe I'll buy that when it comes out. She's hot. That's it. That's, oh yeah, they're Blizzard's bread and butter. They sure are. And that's what Diablo 4 is. Those are the people that Diablo 4 really has to hit. If it hits us too, I'm happy. And it seems like it will. Definitely. But we are not the main audience. And I think that's okay. And I think I'll still enjoy Diablo 4 and I'll still have fun with it, even if I'm not the most serious fucking... you know, not the opposite. I'm not like a super casual, you know, like fucking 9-to-5 gamer dad. No, I think it'll still be fun, at least for a while.
I don't want to die, actually.
And every season, I think that depends on whether they add more content. This is a good video. I'll give it a like. I'll go ahead and link it to you guys.
I go back.
Oh, actually, I unliked it. There we go. There we go. I'm in the midway of those two spectrums. I think most people are in the midway. Like, there's very few people that are like 100% gamer dads versus 100% the opposite.
My E doesn't go off so many times.
Crips D4 class tier list. All right, let's take a look at this.
Hey guys, how's it going? Preparian here. Today we're going to do the Diablo 4 class review. Some of you guys have really been waiting for my opinion on this. I have just finished playing 2 classes they added in the second round of beta, and this is basically all we're going to get until the game actually releases a couple of months from now. It is a low-level experience, but there is a lot to be learned even from a low-level experience, and I will mention the change.
Yeah, I do think the low-level experience also matters a lot. People that are going on about how, oh, well, it doesn't matter because they get to higher level. Bro, somebody who plays a druid isn't going to end up at higher level because they're going to quit the game. They're going to see their friends playing on these other specs and doing way better, and they're just going to be like, well, this isn't fun to play. I'm not going to keep playing this. It's that simple.
that I expect the classes to experience on a case-by-case basis as they level up in terms of what probably will happen, because we can't see the skill tree, and we have rumors from Divine of players that have maybe played and all that. Now, before we get into it, a quick shout out here.
I would like to not honor gay people
So
all the time, and then when I have a good team, honor everybody.
We have the
That would be
Critic
great.
mouse. Look at that. Appropriately themed for Diablo 4, I would say. It is my favorite mouse in the world. The Extrify M4. We made it red, redesigned the outside of it, just the color scheme. But it's exactly as I wanted. It is my favorite mouse in the world. It is the Kripparrian mousepad, the Extrify K4 midsize, that's my favorite keyboard, and an H2 headset, and you can win it by entering the giveaway. It ends end of day Sunday, which is going to be the 26th, end of day on the 26th. So make sure you get in on
Crisis, what the hell is that? These are the modern units. Ah.
Scanning perimeter. Standing by. Whatever you need. Move it. We'll dial it in. Ready for war. Ready for war. Tank division. We'll dial it in.
That looks cool. The music is shit. The music is really bad. Holy hell. Isn't there another one that...
Ready for war.
Enemy aircraft inbound. Objective complete. Advanced
Should I play Darius support? Oh. That looks fun, actually.
Confirmed. Standing.
ready.
Let's hit the road. Good as done.
Why?
Objective complete.
We'll dial it in. Spartan Battalion, sir. Let's hit the road.
Light it up.
They've cut the power? What do you mean they've cut the power? We've been hit by an EMP blast. This is GDI Scout Patrol Beta Z. We have non-contact. Repeat, we have non-contact. Evacuate the transports now. Yeah? Over there? Commander, we have to get that power back online. All right, I'll take a look at it. Heading.
Like, I would...
I got time.
I love the Tiberium Sun style.
Stealth unit detected.
Or new turrets. It's weird, it's like a mixture of everything. Even that model is new. They use the same models here, but the Obelisk remade it. It's super weird. I just still are not able to install Tiberian Essence. Which is kind of sad.
The problem with MMOs today. This is the biggest problem.
Every single MMO developer out there treats the level up experience in their game like it's some big, giant, boring grind.
The typical MMO player.
Sludged through in order to get to end game because, oh yeah, that's where the real fun is. How many MMOs exist nowadays where you start playing it because your friends are all playing it, you get to like
Lunar
level
Eclipse
15
when I
or
was
something,
like,
you're
well,
bored
this
out of your
game.
mind, and your friends are like, nah, dude, like, you gotta get to level 60, you gotta get to level 80, you gotta get to level 200 something before the fun really starts. What kind of garbage
Why
is
would he
that?
take
A
Arcane
video
Comet on
game needs
virus?
to be fun and
Heck.
entertaining from the moment that you log in to the moment that you log out. Otherwise,
Exactly. Yeah, this shit that people say about how
Why not Hail of
oh,
Blades?
the game's only good at max level. Bitch, it should be good at level 1. Level
Yeah,
1
that's
it should
true.
be
Like
good.
the grind in
Level 5 it's still good.
I started
level 10,
having
it's getting
fun
better.
in Diablo.
what
But
the heck
at
is
level
even the point of
23, it
playing?
started to
If you
become
have to
somewhat
go through
interesting.
500 hours
And the
of crap
cap
and
was
garbage just to get
at
to a few
25,
hours
so
of fun, that's not
yeah.
a good game. And this is something that
True.
I've been thinking about a lot for the past several weeks ever since I started playing classic WoW Hardcore. You see, in this version of World of Warcraft, you're trying to hit level 70 without dying, and if you do die, you have to delete your character right after. And this has created an extraordinarily
Really?
challenging way to play the game that has hooked thousands of players. In fact, the community has been... What the heck is even the point of playing it? If you have to go through 500 hours of crap and garbage just to get to a few hours of fun, that's not a good game. And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot for the past several weeks ever since I started playing classic WoW Hardcore. You see, in this version of World of Warcraft, you're trying to hit level 70 without dying, and if you do die, you have to delete your character right after. And this has created an extraordinarily challenging way to play the game that has hooked
Nice
thousands
flash.
of players. In fact, the community has been growing so fast recently that Blizzard is even releasing official hardcore realms. I just made a video on that recently.
That's not
Oh damn,
confirmed,
nice flash.
but it's all but confirmed.
No sums.
Go check that one out. But you know, as I've been doing classic WoW Hardcore, as I've
That
been
was
dying,
awful.
and I've been having to restart in Duratar and Tirisfal Glades, Dunmorrow, Elwyn Forest, whatever, as I've been having to do the same starting zones over and over again, I've never gotten bored of it. And I'm talking with all these people in guilds and in the general chat, and they're not bored of it either. People will say, oh yeah, this is my 20th character. Oh yeah, this is my 10th character. Here we go again, Duratar for the 17th time, and they're not bored of it. And why is that? If you told me that I had to level up through Battle for Azeroth...
I think that the reason why a lot of people don't get bored of it is because you're talking to an audience of people that absolutely love the game. Because I think that if you asked and you did a poll in like maybe this chat, you know, how do you feel about leveling through Elwyn Forest again? I think it's going to be pretty low. And like another good example of this is like Season of Mastery. Whenever Season of Mastery released, it was pretty much dead on arrival. A lot of people didn't want to do it because they had already done it before. So the people that are hardcore players of classic WoW, they are going to be like very, it's like you talk about like concentric circles. This is a very, very core level concentric circle.
or Shadowlands again in retail WoW, I would tear my eyes out. But if you told me, oh hey, you gotta do Tirisfal Glades for the 10,000th time since you started playing this game in 2005, wouldn't bother me one bit. I would say, dude, let's do it. I'd make that.
I do think that Classic WoW is the only MMO that I've played, like ever. I didn't play a lot of the old MMOs, so like you can't really count that. Is the only MMO that I've ever played that the leveling experience is actually part of the game and it matters. That's not true in New World. It's not true in Lost Ark. It's not true really in Final Fantasy. It's just basically in all of those games,
Oh,
the
shut the
level
fuck
up
up, Leona.
experience is just simply a formality.
Undead rogue or that undead mage, and I dive right in. Why is that? Blizzard back in the day clearly had a completely different mindset when it came to the level up experience in World of Warcraft. They wanted
MMOs had a completely different mindset. It wasn't even just Blizzard. Blizzard was just part of that group.
the leveling to be fun. They knew that you were going to spend untold numbers of hours just trying to get to level 60, and they wanted to make sure that that adventure hooked you right from the beginning. And there's a
Yeah, my mom, whenever she hit level 60, she had slash played of 50 days. 50 fucking days. 50 times 24. That's how many hours she spent in the game before she even hit level 60. That is a fucking triumph. That an MMO can hook people and have people play the game that long before they even hit max level. That doesn't fucking happen in Dragonflight. It didn't happen in Shadowlands or BFA either.
Spot that we could talk about
just
that
playing
has
the game.
lended to that hook. What causes it? The first things for me that come to mind, like, oh, you know, why do I like classic WoW leveling so much, even like in starting zones? I would say, well, I love the fact that all the gear matters. And
Oh, I
The
should have
game-
let myself
the
getting
reason
hooked.
why is because it's hard and frustrating.
I should not waste my mana like
Ironically,
that.
the reason why leveling in classic WoW is actually part of the game. It's because you are actually going to get fucked by certain quests. You actually need a group to do Hogger. You actually are not going to be able to do Lieutenant Fangor whenever you go to Red Ridge Mountains and he's level 27 and you're level 18. You just figured out, like, you didn't even know what level he was until you hit level 18.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's what I was afraid
It's
of.
fucking hard. And each class can't do everything. The reason why class identity
I
was
should
the
have eaten
strongest
here.
in
I was
classic
thinking
WoW
about it.
wasn't because certain classes were
I knew
good at
Kindred
one
was here. I
thing.
knew it.
It's because certain classes were shit at everything else. So you want big AoE, you get a fucking mage. You want really good absorb shields, you get a fucking you get a fucking priest. You want massive damage,
Yeah, I wanna
get a
play a
warrior
fucking
or a
priest.
rogue. And that's only if it's
Come on,
really
Diablo,
geared
priest
out.
class.
You want massive damage early on,
I'm
get
happy.
a mage. And that's how it is. So Classic WoW created a lot of compelling design through actually things that were kind of bad design. It's like a weird, like, catch-22. It's bad, but it turns out to be good. It's very hard to know how to do that in the right way.
I love learning my new class abilities and seeing what's coming
Can they stop
next.
zoning me so
love
hard? I can't
earning
even
the
ward up
dual
there.
Wielding as a rogue at level 10, the Void Walker as a warlock. I like earning that first green robe as a priest when you get to Brill and Tirisfal Glades, getting your first green item drop out in the world. There's so much to say. Every single time you level a new character in WoW, it's a memorable experience. You go out, you pick up professions in order to
And
make...
also, like, so like in Lost Ark, for example, besides like tier 1, 2, and 3 jumps, so this is Lost Ark's, this is their leveling progression, okay? Or their item progression. It's like this. With like maybe one jump right here whenever you get like your new set piece, maybe one jump right here whenever you get another set piece, and that's about it. But the reason why WoW Classic leveling felt so good is that... let's see. Warrior. Staff of Westfall. Whirlwind Axe. Ravager. And you know what? These points right here felt like shit. But they felt also really fucking good whenever you were right here, and right here. That's why.
your character even stronger than the guy next to you, you take the time to mine those nodes or skin those wolves or whatever.
There's advantages to each one, by the way. It's not like Lost Ark is bad and Classic WoW is good. There are advantages to each one.
You feel like a badass walking around in the gear that you crafted yourself with a sharpened weapon that you have sharpened with your own 2 hands. And I don't know, everything feels impactful. Everything feels like it's worth doing.
Because the game is such a cop.
Contrast to modern World of Warcraft and other modern MMOs.
Because
we're picking
a
up
cop.
professions
That's why.
or getting new pieces of gear or whatever is completely
Caitlin?
meaningless. It's
Caitlin?
completely meaningless. It has no impact whatsoever. It does not make the mob
Oh, so
less
she has a bad thing.
dangerous. It does not even make the level up experience feel like it's going faster. If anything, maybe you're killing mobs like 0.001% faster. That's
It doesn't
how it
matter.
feels.
Yeah.
And it's boring. If I'm playing an orc
Like, I
in
still remember how good it felt whenever I got Staff of Jordan, because I already had my warrior leveled up, and I bought Staff of Jordan to give to my warlock whenever I hit level 35. I still remember that. Holy fuck, that was amazing.
and I'm
Oh
leaving
my
Razor
God.
Hill, and I'm a miner, and a blacksmith, and I'm a warrior. I'm
Massive.
thinking about several things. I'm thinking, man, I really need to get healing potions. Those would be very useful for me when I face Fizzle down in like the canyons later on down the road. Hey, while I'm at Northwatch Keep, or whatever that little human like castle is, I need to be gathering linen cloth to level up my first aid. That's going to be very useful to me as a warrior.
Leona
I need to
would
keep my
die so
eyes
many
out for
times.
mining nodes because I
We should
need to
just
create
let
a new
her hit
copper
her
vest.
ease,
I
actually.
need to level up my blacksmithing. I want to make
Yeah,
that.
remember how many of you guys back in Classic WoW, you played a warrior and you made the green iron halberd? I remember I made that and I used it until like level 45. I remember that item so fucking well. It was so good. It was fucking broken.
Headshot.
That green two-handed axe that's gonna make me unkillable for so many levels.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all this stuff on top of the quests that I have to do, on top of the fact that I'm in the world, I'm planning out my route. Like, you're more engaged with the game. And this is something that I wish that the modern game had. And so I've been sitting here pondering on that engagement.
The problem is that I don't even think Classic had that in a lot of ways. Because every single player, whenever given the option, they always picked
Oh,
a
God.
mage to run them through dungeons. And whenever that wasn't an option in Season of Mastery, it died.
I didn't even see Isolde at all. It didn't
Because
appear.
the people that enjoy this are... It's a small group of people. It is. A lot of people like the, get to end game, do all the normal activities. That, I think, is what the norm is. Now, personally, I can appreciate both of them in different ways, but there is a big part of me that misses how it was in Classic, where the game began at level
Any?
1 and not level 60.
I ulted him for you. Oh god.
Asking myself,
I
do I
missed.
feel this way when I play Dragonflight, for example, when I'm leveling a new character on the Dragon Isles? I mean,
Well, I actually enjoyed leveling in Dragonflight. I thought it was fun. Now, I don't like leveling in multiple times.
Oh, come on.
I didn't like that in Classic either. But I thought Dragonflight leveling was actually very well designed, and it was the best leveling experience I've had in World of Warcraft.
What is going on?
I think it was better
Since
than
when is it
Legion,
so hard
better
to
than
hit
DFA,
anything with
better
Lux
than
Q?
Shadowlands.
not really. I would say that leveling in Dragonflight is way better than WoW has been in the past few years. It's a lot of fun. There's all these cool systems that you can unlock, new things to do. But speaking for me, when I was leveling in Dragonflight, there was no moment where I freaked out and I got really excited, kind of like you do when you get your first 6-slot bag dropping off of a wolf in Dun Moreau. Something.
Yeah, I mean, like, you
Nice.
maybe feel like, oh, wow, cool, whenever you get, like, a legend or a purple upgrade. A purple upgrade of a quest item or something like that. Like, oh, cool, great, I got a really good item. But, like, it doesn't really matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is
Okay,
because it's
okay,
so
I'm just
easy
bad.
that if you have a green one, you're still going to kill it, you're still going to clear it, it doesn't make a difference.
I'm just bad at this
So
point.
talk about bad.
There's no arguing with
I
that.
think that if you play Classic
Oh, come
WoW,
on.
and you actually went through it, especially back in the day, you probably did get excited about the first big bag that you looted from like an NPC or like some quest reward or something like that. You definitely did.
where you're like, wow, this is going to be extremely
at least a
useful
lot
to
of
me in the
people did.
future. I am
Maybe you're
happy
too cool
that
for
this
that.
happened. This is great. It just changed my entire strategy playing forward in the game. I don't know. There was never really a moment like that for me in Dragonflight. In Star Wars The Old Republic, a game I recently just leveled through.
But I also think that Dragonflight is good in a different way. Dragonflight delivers a cohesive narrative that makes sense and it's fun to play through at least once. I actually think that the Dragonflight questing experience is totally fine. It's not the same as Classic WoW. It's just not the same thing. However, I think that the Dragonflight questing experience is actually very good.
Didn't really have a moment like that. Even in Elder Scrolls Online, a game that I really enjoy, ESO, you don't really have those moments. Modern MMOs just treat the level up experience like it's just a chore. And if you're gonna treat the level up content like it's just this boring grind that needs to be just drudged through, why even have it in the first place? Just have players start at
that sucks.
And that was the thing that people asked in Shadowlands.
That fucking sucks.
Why do we even have to level up multiple characters?
Could I even buy
What's
AP if
the
I don't
point of
hit
this? And
anything?
people were even asking this in BFA. And like now in Dragonflight, leveling up an alt takes like a few hours. It doesn't really matter. And even like, you didn't even really need to level up. You just had to go through the new quests. If you went through all of the new quests and you followed the main story quest, the MSQ of Dragonflight, you will be max level. And I actually think that the way they did it was totally good. It's not the same as Classic though.
Level and just jump right into the end game. What is the purpose of early game? Early game in an MMO should fill you with a sense of adventure.
I think this was something that like I was really happy that I didn't try to power level and play through Lost Ark as fast as possible. And I got a chance, like it was really fun that first month of Lost Ark because people were playing so many different versions of the game based off of what their progression was. And the game only got boring until whenever everybody was at tier 3, farming the same dungeons, doing the same stuff, waiting for the same boss. Yeah, the release of Lost Ark was fucking awesome. Because you did have a little bit of this, because you'd have to spend a lot of time like grinding through islands and like farming through chaos dungeons and the tower in order to get from like tier 1 to tier 2 or tier 2 to tier 3. Like, the questing experience was super easy and it didn't matter in the same way that Classic WoW did. It's like a completely different level. But I do think the first month of Lost Ark was really great.
Game should be teaching you how to play your class. Early game should be introducing you to the lore, to the world, the mechanics of the game. It should be introducing you to treasures and moments that make you go,
okay,
that
sure,
was
but
awesome.
that's not...
In an MMORPG, a game all about leaving this world, you know, behind and immersing ourselves into a whole new world, an MMO needs to cultivate a feeling of going on an adventure. And modern games compared to older MMOs just don't have that. There's barely any
going on an adventure. I think Elden Ring, you go on an adventure in Elden Ring. I think that from what I've heard, you go on an adventure in Breath of the Wild. Don't quote me on that. I didn't play it. I think you also go on an adventure in Final Fantasy XIV with the questing. But it's a different kind of adventure. Valheim, you go on an adventure as well. I would agree with that.
But I will not let it control me.
I'm not able to hit anything. Come on.
Yeah.
MMOs that really adhere to this formula and made it like a core concept of their gameplay. You have early World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars Galaxies, and you know, what other ones are there? I don't really remember. Maybe Warhammer Online when it first came out? That was so long ago. I don't know.
It was like 2008
It's just fascinating watching all these people playing classic hardcore, dying at level 8, level 10, level 20 or something, and then just starting all over again, same zones, and they have no problem with it. They're just like, oh, cool, let's do it again. And it just really shows how good Blizzard's old school game design was in the fact that it's so replayable. But I'm sure there's...
I think there's also a meta of this too, because like a lot of the people that are doing this are like classic WoW streamers, and if they're not doing this, they're not going to have anything else to stream. So it's like, yeah, they have to do it again because that's what people want to watch. That's it. Like if they go and they play another game, people are going to leave. That's just how it is. And if they go and they play retail, people are going to leave. That's how it is. So it's like streamers liking it. Yes, because like also if it wasn't fun to watch, people wouldn't watch it. But is it being fun to watch, meaning that it's fun to play? There's a content bubble, and there's like nuances to it with streaming as well.
Going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with that. So that's my rant for the day, fellas. I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you guys, a few little observations that I've seen while playing WoW recently and seeing this big change in the community. What do you guys think?
Damn,
of
the
it?
heat.
Am I just being silly? And if you don't know anything about Classic WoW Hardcore, by the way, check out this video. I gave Classic WoW Hardcore a chance on your screen right now, because in that video I go through my entire adventure from getting killed multiple times, leading level 1 raids, finally getting a girlfriend, and also harassing my friend and desperately trying to teach him how to play WoW.
I might try that out. All right, well that's interesting.
Why is it
yeah.
nowadays that
they got me in the second half? Most of the hardcore community. What's this here? Look at the real end goal. Killing a in raid boss without dying. I might be wrong, but that certainly motivated a decent amount of people. Yeah, I mean, I think that Blizzard should make hardcore classic WoW servers. If they did that, I don't really know if I'd play on one. It depends on the kind of content. Like streaming, I stream for fun, and I stream because I enjoy it. But if I know my viewers will really enjoy something or really like something, even if I'm not like feeling super compelled to do it, I'll do it anyway because I like making people happy. So yeah, I might try something like that out, but it's in general not something that I like getting into or not something that I really enjoy. It's not even possible to have the adventure aspect anymore because of guides and shit. Yeah, I mean, that's true. However, I think that it's you can at least not look at the guides and have an adventure in Classic WoW nowadays. But even if you don't look at the guides, you're not going to really have much of an adventure in New World. Or in... And New World has improved a lot, by the way. It's gotten a lot fucking better, but especially on release. You're not going to have a fucking adventure with this. You're just going to be farming, fish fillets. So yeah, metagaming is too strong. Yeah, metagaming is just way bigger and way different. Now, I think that if Blizzard, I do think that Blizzard, they should do Season of Mastery 2, and they should add a hardcore server. I'm probably not going to play on the hardcore server, but if they add new content at least. If they don't add any new content, then yeah, maybe I might play on it because I don't really think I'm going to really go through everything again just to fucking, to do that again. But I really hope they add a Season of Mastery 2 and they start actually making Classic Plus. It's time. It's been time. It's been time for the last 6 months, for the last 8 months, for the last maybe year. Let's get Classic Plus. Let's start re-releasing the game, make it good again, etc. And the true ways to do Classic Plus, I don't think that they are. I think that Classic Plus can happen. Absolutely. Blizzard has actually put in a lot of work into WoW with Dragonflight. Unironically, no meme, no joke, no bullshit. They have put a lot of post-launch work into Dragonflight. And I think that's awesome. I'm really happy to see that. And if they put that energy into Classic WoW, I think it will pay off even more than it has in Dragonflight. I was actually going to watch that video about about how Dragonflight hurt, Shadowlands hurt WoW a lot. I love Nick Seam's videos. He has a lot of the same opinions that I do on this kind of stuff.
Oh, and it can shield allies? I didn't know that. Woo!
The early 2000s was the golden age for strategy games, and real-time strategy was its king. Command & Conquer, Age of Empires, Warcraft, and StarCraft were all household names, selling millions of copies each. RTS was so popular that its minigames ended up spawning their own genres like tower defense and MOBAs. After their immense success with Age of Empires 2, Ensemble Studios wanted to branch out. They were already one of the most experienced and skilled developers out there, and they wanted to take everything that they had learned to make something new, fresh, and awesome. Thus, Age of Mythology was born. And the game didn't sell very well. It wasn't a flop by any means, but it just could not seal away the titans of the time. See this graph? The red bar is Age of Mythology. It was rough. The thing is, in my opinion, Age of Mythology is secretly one of the best RTS games ever released. And 21 years later, I am here to talk for an entirely reasonable amount of time why. We're going to talk about every campaign mission, game mechanic, design decision, game mode, and anything else that I can think of, because Age of Mythology is amazing and deserves it. We're also going to talk about the stuff that it doesn't do well, because it may be one of my favorite games, but that doesn't mean it's perfect or immune to criticism. For a bit of context, I have played this game through many times as I was growing up.
Yeah, I wish
video,
Command Conquer would come back with a really good game.
As well as a playthrough on hard difficulty. This run is going to be the hard difficulty playthrough because I want to show off everything. And while Titan is absolutely possible, sometimes the overwhelming difficulty can limit freedom and strategy expression. Which means I wouldn't be able to show off some of the really cool stuff that also kinda sucks. And yeah, this game is getting a remaster soon, so I probably should have waited for that to make this video.